Notes from the Life Application Study Bible. This chapter particularly highlights how Luke emphasizes Jesus' interaction with women, the poor, the oppressed, and outsiders, like the Roman officer. The passage marks a turning point in Luke's account of Jesus' ministry. Up to this point, Jesus had dealt almost exclusively with the Jews. Here, he began to include the Gentiles. And notice who the main characters are in this short drama: the Jewish elders, a Roman officer, and the officer's slave. People of very different racial and religious backgrounds, and vastly different standings on the social ladder. Jesus broke through all those barriers, straight to the issue of faith. The gospel travels well across ethnic, racial, national, and religious barriers. Are you willing to work through them yourself? Jesus was no respecter of social divisions, and we should follow his example. Reach out to those whom Jesus came to save. We can follow his example as we share his message across all social and political boundaries. This Roman army officer was a centurion, meaning he was a captain in charge of 100 men. The officer had heard about Jesus, and obviously he also had heard about Jesus' healing power. He sent a request through some of the Jewish elders on behalf of his slave. He may have heard about the healing of the government official's son, which probably occurred earlier. See John chapter 5, verses 46 through 54. In any case, he knew Jesus had the power to heal his slave. In Matthew chapter 8, verse 5 says, the Roman officer visited Jesus himself, while this verse says he sent Jewish elders to present his request to Jesus. In those days, dealing with a person's messengers was considered the same as dealing with the one who had sent them. Thus, in dealing with the messengers, Jesus was dealing with the officer. For his Jewish audience, Matthew emphasized the Roman officer's faith. For his Gentile audience, Luke highlighted the good relationship between the Jewish elders and the Roman officer. The army captain daily delegated work and sent groups on missions. So this was how he chose to get his message to Jesus. The Roman officer didn't come to Jesus, and he didn't expect Jesus to come to him. Just as this officer did not need to be present to have his orders carried out, he knew Jesus didn't need to be present to heal. This officer's faith was especially amazing because he was a Gentile who had not been brought up to know a loving God. Jesus wants us to have this kind of humble faith.